Oh, hello. Welcome to episode 23 of the Top 2 Inches Rugby podcast, brought to you as ever by I Spy Surveys, the go-to specialist survey and inspection company based in Exeter, Devon. So, what is on episode 23? I hear you cry. Well, there's rugby and lots of it. We'll check in on the Gallagher Premiership, the latest round, some interesting developments there, and unfortunately, red cards as well. We'll check in on the Allianz Premier 15 and another fantastic victory for the Exeter ladies against the Wasp ladies. Well done, Exeter. We'll also have a look forward to the next round of the Six Nations, whilst also checking in on the latest round of the Fantasy Rugby. Ollie will be obviously delighted because he is even more steaming ahead than normal. He had a fantastic round, unfortunately. And obviously we will check out the latest news from in and around the rugby world. So, let's just crack on and let's get this episode going. Round 14 of the Allianz Premier 15s for the ladies saw 5 matches being played, 3 of which were streamed live over the internet. 277 points being scored throughout the 5 games, and it was described as a roller coaster of a round. Unfortunately, I've not had the opportunity to watch the games or watch the highlights, so I am just having a little scan over the reviews on the Allianz Premier 15 website. So we'll start off with Saracens against Bristol Bears. Saracens bounced back from defeat at Wasps last week with an 8-try bonus point win against Bristol Bears. Mary Campbell is becoming a prolific try scorer for the Saracens ladies. She scored a hat-trick. Poppy Khalil was mentioned again for her hard work and determination. She also scored a try, and the veteran Rocky Clark at prop also scored a try. So a hard-fought victory there for Saracens. Next game to have a look at was DMP Durham Sharks against Loughborough Lightning. Loughborough Lightning scored 10 tries in this game, the final score being 62-0. Fair play to DMP. Again, they are putting out their team and they are doing the best that they can, but when you've got the likes of Emily Scarrett and Lark Davis in the opposition, it's going to be difficult for anybody in the league. So fair play to Durham, but unfortunately it is another loss for them, which still sees them, I believe, at the bottom of the table, winless. The next game was Harlequins against Gloucester. Harlequins came out on top 28-15. Harlequins took an early lead. It looks like it was a bit of a hard-fought game, but Harlequins Red Roses really stood up and took the game away from Gloucester in the end. So well done to Gloucester ladies. They should now be pushing for a top spot, I would imagine. And the final game to have a look at was, not the second to last game to have a look at, was two of the top informed teams in the Premiership, Premier 15. Exeter Chiefs ladies against Wasps. Exeter Chiefs came out on top, 31-29 away to Wasps. So a fantastic result for them. Made even more so with a quarter of an hour on the clock. They were actually 22-7 down, so a massive fight back by the Chiefs to come out on top, and they must be pushing for the top 4 spot now, I would have thought. So well done to the Exeter ladies. And the final game was between Worcester Warriors and Sale. Joe Yapp's Worcester Warriors avenged their 11-0 defeat at Sale Sharks earlier in the season with a thrilling comeback win at Sixways. So another fantastic comeback. The final result was 31-21 in favour of Worcester Warriors. And yeah, fair play to them. When you've got the likes of Daly McLean in the Sale team, pulling the strings and orchestrating the attack, fair play to Worcester Warriors for that one. Let's just have a quick look at the table. Okay, so Saracens remain on top, followed by Harlequins, then Loughborough Lightning, and then Wasps. Exeter are just down in 5th. They are catching Wasps and hopefully pushing into the top 4. DMP Durham Sharks unfortunately remain at the bottom. Just above them is Sale, following that loss to Worcester. So another exciting round in the Allianz Premier 15, and we will check in on the next round next time. How are you, mate? You alright?
How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Episode 23. we're under
23. God.
we're under the condition to keep it swift tonight because you are still working. I understand.
I am, yeah. No rest for the wicked, mate. No rest for the.
Even you, buddy. Even you.
I've got a long weekend planned, so taking a bit of time off work at the end of the week. So yeah, paying the grunt for it now, mate. With having to do a bit extra in the evenings to get me nose in front, but that's life, isn't it? That's life.
Certainly is, mate. It certainly is. And once again this week, I am banished to the bedroom, so the missus can watch a film downstairs. So hey ho, the things you do for a rugby podcast.
Still not got your hands on those trousers yet, then, mate?
No, mate. No, not at all. Probably will never happen. I expect. So anyway, enough of the banter. Let's just crack on. We'll start with the news. Okay. So oh yes, that happened. I forgot. So Saracens opened their championship first game of the season down at Cornish Pirates with a loss. Which is pretty well. Let's be fair. It's Saracens probably. I'm actually saying that. I'd imagine Cornish Pirates haven't had an opportunity to have a warm-up game. Saracens obviously had that little mini tournament with Doncaster and Ealing, so they've had a few games. Didn't see that one coming, but Cornish Pirates obviously is a hard place to go to. And an interesting result. And I heard some interesting facts as well. There was obviously quite a few internationals in the Saracens team. Vincent Koch, the prop from South Africa, being one of them. And I did.
Yeah, and the two Scottish lads in the back, wasn't it? Maitland and Taylor were playing, weren't they?
Yeah, and I think it equated to something like 165 international caps against the boys from Cornwall. Yeah. So, I mean, that is full credit to the Cornish team, to the Cornish Pirates. That is an awesome display to put one over Sarries. What do you make of it, mate?
Well, I don't know, really. I mean, yeah, I think it's obviously it's just a fantastic result for the Pirates, isn't it? It's great for West Country rugby and all the rest of it. I'm not. I've heard and seen a bit written. Obviously, you get the old anti-Saracens bandwagon stuff coming out, isn't it? Yeah. And making a that's get what you deserve and all the rest of it. And that's I'm not in any way into any of that, because in my view on what happened last season is they've done the crime and paid the price, paid the punishment, haven't they? So let's all just move on. It's done, isn't it? So but yeah, that's just my opinion.
No, it's a good opinion. I totally agree with that one, mate.
Well, we've all got our opinions, haven't we, Gareth?
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, obviously it's a shock result. But on the other hand, actually, like a lot of people say it, isn't it? The Championship is a tough competition. It's obviously completely different to the Premiership. So maybe this is a bit of an initial wake up call for Sarri, isn't it? It'd be interesting to see how they react to it, because obviously you've got to play a different style, I guess, of rugby, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's in a little bit. I don't know if nasty is the right word, but refereeing's not the same, and all the rest of it, isn't it?
Pitches aren't the same,
and they're not used to their beautiful facilities, and pitches, and so I mean, it could be just simply just that, a bit of a shock adjustment period for Sarries, but I'm sure Sarries being Sarries is they will react and adjust fairly swiftly, I would have thought, but I'll be surprised if they don't.
No, absolutely, and I'd agree with that. And I think also, there's going to be some other tough games to them. They've lost twice, I think, to Ealing in that little tournament I said. Jersey's not exactly an easy place to go to. So
I think this was probably more of a shock than those, because this was probably as close to a sort of full strength as to what they'll put out in the Championship side, wasn't it? It was. I know the little Trailfinder tournament, whatever it was, they did the pre-season tournament. They pretty much played not as many internationals, was there? But,
no, exactly.
I don't think. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I think one of the sad things about it is, from a Pirates point of view, and such a big win in their history is no crowds there, wouldn't it? Because
Yeah,
you
God,
imagine
imagine that.
the Cornish, the Cornish
Imagine the
fans, they would have
atmosphere.
got right stuck into the Sarries boys, wouldn't they? But
Yeah, I mean that would have been amazing to be in that crowd, and that happened. And I wonder,
yeah,
I don't imagine Mark McCall being the man he is running any alarm bells. And obviously, you would bring in the guys that were on international duty. They're obviously going to come back, and obviously.
are they though? Are they? I don't know, mate. I've got suspicions on that because it's the way it's all starting to pan out. It's you question now whether some of these guys might take shotgun last minute loan deals to get some rugby playing in, isn't it? Because
Oh, you mean in the Premiership?
yeah, the especially the Lions guys, because actually the way the sort of the Sarries boys that are involved with England, this is just again my opinion on it all, but unless the next two fixtures for England are a complete turnaround and they're firing on all cylinders and top form suddenly, which I just can't see it happening because it hasn't gone that way yet, has it? But obviously the lack of game time is a factor. There's no hiding from that, is there? So is Warren Gatland going to pick these guys for the Lions? And they're not going to have any serious game time between now and the Lions tour, are they? So
No, that's a fair comment, mate. To be honest with you,
so
I hadn't thought of it that way.
we could see Itoje Farrell potentially going on loans for the season, isn't it? To get some sort of top flight regular rugby in, but be interesting whether that happens or not. Yeah, obviously it's a contractual thing, isn't it? Whether they've already signed something that will stop that happening altogether, but I would have thought, knowing if their Lion spots are in threat or under threat, you would have thought they'll be then they will be looking for loan moves, isn't it? But
yeah.
But anyway, that's another subject, isn't it?
It's going to be an interesting time for them. And I don't, from my perspective, I don't want to delve too much into the Championship because obviously we do chat a lot about rugby. But I think maybe each week we just pick up on how Saracens are getting on and whether there has been some more kind of famous defeats with the teams that they play against. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we've only got so much time on the pod and only so much time to sort of follow rugby in your day-to-day weekly life as well, isn't it? But the Championship, it almost deserves a bit more focus, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's being sort of pushed to the wayside a little bit, isn't it? With the Premiership taking this result, I think other people have said it, but it proves that the Championship's still there, isn't it? You've got good teams, good quality teams, and it's a good tournament. So
absolutely, totally agree.
It proves that you shouldn't in any way let it go, and also obviously the Premiership relegation and Championship promotion discussion as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it all kind of
likes of Pirates. If they sort their facilities out, then there's nothing to stop them coming up in the next few years, isn't it? If they the likes of Pirates, isn't it, or other, Chiefs have done it, Bristol have done it, and there's nothing to stop others doing it if they can get everything, all the right ducks in a row, sort of facilities and winning the league, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely, I totally agree, mate. So it's going to be an interesting time for Sarries in the Championship. Just a little, not to kind of go into too much detail around the Exeter Bath game yet, but obviously Warren Gatland was at that game. What did you do? You think he was there watching Sam Simmons? Do you think Sam Simmons could potentially be a Lions bolter? Just on that sort of subject.
Don't know, mate. Don't know.
It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting if he did get picked, mate. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it would. On Sam Simmons, I heard I don't know if you heard that one rumor that Racing are trying to tap him up at the moment. But
oh no, I hadn't heard that. Really?
Yeah, because obviously I think it's probably a bit of a how much is in it, you don't know, but obviously with it's a hot topic, isn't it, that Simmons being left in the England international wilderness sort of thing. So it is, if that is, well, it is obviously widely out there for everyone to know and hear about. But the likes of Racing could. No, but I mean the likes of Racing then might pick up on that and say, right, well then do you want some? You aren't playing for England, so there's nothing to commit you staying.
So a little bit like Zach Mercer.
Well, that's not a reason to stay in the Premier. Yeah, potentially, isn't it? Come and play for us for a couple of years, earn some big money, and then. But obviously, there's more to it than just money, isn't it? Chiefs is a
It's a great place
fantastic
to
club
be.
and outfit, and and a great part of the world, and all the rest of it to live, isn't it? But yeah, that's a concern, obviously, with any of the young up and coming guys, isn't it? If they ain't given the chance they should be at international level.
Yeah, totally, absolutely agree. And obviously, there's some seriously good rugby in the Prem, which we'll come to in just a minute. But I think if we just leave it for the news there, because I don't think there was a great deal. The BBC aren't reporting a great deal. They certainly weren't reporting that Racing were interested in Sam Simmons, which is probably why I didn't know about it. So let's just go to the.
You contractually not allowed to look at anything other than BBC.
Only the BBC, mate. That is literally it. So obviously the next round of the Six Nations is coming up. So let's just have a little kind of preview, because I want to save the Gallagher Premiership to the kind of the main kind of topic, because it was a fantastic weekend. Italy, Wales on Saturday. Let's just do kind of a little overview on each and then the prediction. I mean, Wales have named a relative. Wales named their team yet? Am I just completely jumping the gun?
I think it's tomorrow they name the teams, isn't it?
I think
squads have been announced, haven't they? I'm not sure. Sort of starting 15
specific teams. Yeah, okay. But I do. Yeah, okay. No, I think you're right on that one, actually. So depending on, I'd imagine that Wales are going to go pretty strong. I can't imagine they're going to rest anybody, because they're obviously on that run of good victories. I don't think we can sort of say anything other than a Wales victory. Do you want to maybe just give a little prediction on the scoreline? Maybe are we thinking Italy gonna? Is it over in Rome?
Yeah, it is. It's Wales away.
So do we think it's going to be? What would you sort of see the scoreline being roughly?
Actually, just to put a spanner in your works, because I'm looking at the BBC website at this precise moment, and the Wales team is on here. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you missed that one, Gareth. You missed that one. Anyway, do you want me to read it out?
No, I have missed it. You're totally right. Okay, so who's he selected?
It looks. I'm just having. It doesn't look like there's any particular changes from last game. I don't think nothing obvious standing out. Davies bigger. Jonathan Davies in. He didn't play. He hasn't featured yet, has he?
Oh my God, I can't remember.
And then the back three, I think, is the same: Josh Adams, Reece Samet, and Liam Williams.
Gareth Davies
front row
didn't start last week, did he?
No, you're right. He didn't.
No.
It was Lloyd Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one. There's so many Williams in Wales and Jones. It's hard to remember who's who.
Yeah.
Toby Faletau.
And Davies.
Toby Faletau makes it quite easy because there's only one of him.
Yeah, and Navidi, Josh Navidi. That's quite a.
Yeah, and Tipperick as well. So we know who the back row is. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty strong team. They're going to go there and they're going to do the job, and I reckon they're going to do it by about 30 points, if I'm honest. Which is a shame for Italy because they have been, getting better, but they're still not at that point yet to really challenge.
I would probably go and guess something similar to probably what Italy did against them. So around about 50-10, something like that. I would have thought, but I think they're Italy generally. Against most teams, have a little bit of a go and a couple of good bits of play, don't they? So hopefully get a couple of tries out of it. But I can't see them keeping it below 40 with Wales. The way Wales are on quite high at the moment, aren't they? So
yeah, and obviously Louis Rees-Sammett's in really good form. Liam Williams is playing well. Josh Adams is playing well. I can. Yeah,
George North is playing well in the centre, isn't he?
Well, so it's going to be a bit of a tough old day for Italy, I reckon. So let's just jump forward now. Sorry, mate. Let's just jump forward to Scotland Ireland on the Sunday. So that's at Murrayfield. Their teams haven't been named yet, have they? I'm just checking on my font of all knowledge. I don't think it has.
It's probably just. Is it just? It's not. Is it?
No, it's not. No, but what I think is quite interesting is that Exeter second row, Sam Skinner has been recalled into the Scottish team.
Yeah.
So fair play to him. He deserves that. He's been playing some really good rugby at the moment down in.
He does actually. I was surprised he was left out at the beginning of the Six Nations, but yeah, he's certainly proved that he shouldn't have been left out, hasn't he? Because, like you say, he's been on cracking form for Chiefs, hasn't he?
Absolutely. So, and I don't think the Ireland team's been named either. So, where do you see that one going, mate? I think it. Oh no, you go first. You say what you're thinking.
Well, I genuinely think it could go either way. I think it's going to be quite tight, but I'm going to back Scotland on it. Mainly because they've got the home advantage.
With no fans.
Yeah, but it's still home advantage, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm just teasing, mate. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's going to be quite a close encounter. I think Ireland did look quite good against Italy, and I know you might just turn around and say it's only Italy, but I think they put some good patterns of plays together. They were looking strong. They were looking fast, and I think Andy Farrell's kind of vision is maybe embedding itself quite nicely into the team now. However, saying that, obviously Scotland didn't play against France the other week. My only little worry is, have their players had a lot of game time? I know Hogg and second row
Johnny Gray.
Yeah, obviously played for Exeter last week. So a few of the guys have had some game time, but I just wonder if they might start off a little bit rusty and maybe develop into it. But if Ireland starts strong, could they kind of run away with it quite quickly? It's like you say, it's a tough one to call. But like you, I do think it will be a Scotland victory, but it's going to be, 6 or 3 or, I don't know. I can't see it being any more than 6 points. A 6-point victory.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if either side sort of run away with it in any way. But yeah, I'll say I'm going to back Scotland on that one, personally.
Okay. So obviously the big game, which is why I wanted to leave it last, because obviously we're both English, although I have a Welsh name. England, France at Twickers.
Yeah.
France have named their team. Vakatawa. I can't say his name. You said the name.
Vakatawa.
That's him. That guy.
The centre. He's quite useful.
He's decent. So he's coming back. Intermac's coming back. Have they named their team? Oh my God! The BBC, you're letting me down. I might have to look for a different contract.
I actually
maybe BT's
I haven't
hiring.
heard they have. But I have heard Vakatawa's back in the mix again, isn't he?
Yeah, and Intermac's back in the mix.
Yeah, I think it's likely to be Vakatawa and Fickow, isn't it, in the centre?
Yeah, and I think also a lot of the guys, there's not been any kind of prolonged issues with the COVID outbreak. I think they've all kind of relatively, come through the worst of it, and it's going to be a pretty strong French side.
Yeah.
And obviously Eddie Jones is naming his team tomorrow. Do you think there's going to be any significant changes from Eddie, or is he just going to stick to what he knows?
I don't think there's going to be any major wholesale changes. I think he might actually tinker a little bit. The bit that's made me think is obviously quite a few of the sort of so-called unused England squad players were released back to clubs last weekend, weren't they?
Yeah. Underhill had a good game for Bath.
Yeah, well, that was first game back from injury, isn't it? So he hasn't been brought back into the England squad. But Bath had Stuart, Abano, and Ewells, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I did notice Adogwu wasn't released to Wasps. Ollie Lawrence wasn't released back to Worcester. Don't think Max Malins was released back to Bristol. I don't think Ben Earl was either. He didn't feature for Bristol if he was released back. But so that could suggest that a few of those may be either starting or at least in the squad on the bench, which would be good. Which would be good news. But
I'm sure I heard or read that Eddie Jones said 70% of, or was it 30%? it's either 70% or 30% of this current England team isn't going to be featured in the next World Cup. So in my head, isn't.
Is or isn't. He said
Isn't.
70% is, I think.
It's one way or the other. Yes, it's 30%.
I think he said 70% of this current squad will be at the next World Cup. So you're 30% still to decide on, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess what my point of view is, effectively we can't really win this, can we?
No, so try it out, isn't it?
Yeah, throw the guys into the pack and see what happens. Otherwise, they're not going to get that big match experience, are they? That's going to help them potentially win the World Cup in France.
Yeah,
that'd be my kind of view, and maybe that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I'd be highly surprised knowing Eddie Jones, but but that's what most of us would do, isn't it? You'd just sort of go, well, we can't win the tournament, so let's just go out and it's like a no guts, no glory, isn't it? There's nothing to lose against France. So just
bit of no retreat, no surrender.
Exactly. So just go out and
give it a go.
Go out and play. Let the boys play as our
egg chasers colleagues.
Superb egg chasers. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, just in case they do ever listen to us. What a podcast. Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I think I would quite like to see. So I would like to see a backline of Dan Robson, Owen Farrell, Slady, Ollie Lawrence, Adogwu on one wing, Johnny May on the other, and Max Malins at fullback. That's what I would go with.
Not bad.
Do you think that's possible, or do you think that's just too drastic?
Well, I think it's probably too much of a change, but no, I mean, I'd love to see that much change, but I just can't see Eddie doing it. But I'd like to see Robson, Ford, Lawrence and Adogwu in the centres, Watson, Johnny May, and Malins the back three.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be either way, Eddie. If Eddie's listening, listen, Eddie, come on.
Actually, sorry, did I say no? Not Lawrence and Adogwu. Slade and Adogwu in the centres.
Oh, okay. So you'd have Adogwu on the bench. Oh no, sorry, mate. Lawrence on the bench.
Yeah, and Farrell on the bench.
Oh, interesting. Dropping the captain.
Which is never going to happen, is it? But
no, there's been a number of calls for that, mate.
I'm just going purely on form, personally, or who I consider to be the form player sort of thing. But if you were choosing on that with the guys who are in the squad that you can actually select, so that's what I would go for. But we don't pick, do we?
No, mate. And Eddie doesn't listen to the podcast. He doesn't take our calls.
Well, he doesn't. Is he not one of our 11 or 12 whatever listeners we got?
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so, sadly. But on the plus side, we still have our female listeners, so we are doing something that is keeping her engrossed each week in what we kind of chat about, which I'm absolutely chuffed about. So just a prediction for the game. Are we being patriotic and saying, yep, England are going to win with our hearts, but our heads are saying, vive la France? Or what are you thinking? I'm thinking,
if you look at it, regardless of sort of the England situation and form, it's England at Twickenham and France have been massively disrupted by COVID, haven't they, in their preparations? And so
correct.
You, under normal circumstances, you would say it should be an England win, isn't it? But yeah, I feel exactly the same as I did going into the Wales game last week. So I haven't got a huge amount of confidence. Like you say, go with my heart and back England. Obviously want England to win, but we're going to have our work cut out because the French are going to be probably refreshed and guns are blazing and literally nothing to lose because they've actually I don't think the final decision's been made on the last week's fixture yet, as it was Scotland, but
no, it hasn't.
But still, they'll be up for it, won't they? So hearts again. Yeah, I'm back in England with my heart, but my head's very worried.
I think that's I'd agree with that one, mate. That's fair to say. Okay, so let's just park the Six Nations for there and go back or start on the Premiership.
Okay.
So an interesting game on Friday night, which I covered, obviously, on our little bonus.
I didn't make it again.
No, you didn't make it, unfortunately, mate. Did you listen back? Was it okay? It's hard going solo. I think it would be quite cool if you do join. I know you will at some point. Just to kind of
I can understand that. Just to bring the context and
yeah, and the knowledge and the banter, I guess.
Bring the top 2 inches, mate.
Absolutely.
That's why you got me on, isn't it? You named it all wrong.
Well, true.
No, you.
To be fair, 7 people listen to it, so it can't be that bad.
Very good, mate. Very good.
Thank you.
No, yeah, it is. No, I understand it is difficult.
Are you eating chocolate again?
Yeah.
And the wine's flowing.
Obviously, mate.
I'm not going to get much work done after this.
Standard pod activity. I work best with a glass of wine down me, mate. Yeah, no, it's I you again did a good summary of it. It was a interesting game as well, wasn't it?
Really, really interesting. I thought, and I know you're going to just say, typical Gareth, Leicester. But they've definitely, in my book, they've definitely turned a corner. Some of the intricate interplays between, the lines of running that they were doing, they scored some fantastic tries. But Irish came back and scored 2 tries at the end. Yeah.
I'm not going to say that because I haven't disagreed with you that they definitely turned a corner and they are playing some good rugby, which basically they weren't for all of last season, if not the season before, were they? So it's
whoa.
No. Looking at it realistically and honestly, isn't it?
I know.
That's not being what's the word? Anti-Tigers or anything, just because of our rivalry. But that is the harsh reality, isn't it? That
totally.
Certainly the last couple of seasons for Leicester's have been probably their worst in their history, isn't it? Certainly, performances on the pitch. So they've massively turned the corner. It's looking really positive, I think. But but nearly lost this one still.
Yeah, absolutely. But I tell you what, I really liked as well. Irish look like a proper team now, don't they? I mean, they're sitting at number 5 in the table, I think.
Yeah, they're no mugs. They're no mugs.
No mugs at all.
I thought that Argentinian hooker Creevy is obviously he's bags of experience, but he's just he's making a huge difference for them, isn't he? His experience and know-how is really showing for them, isn't it? He's got a bit of fight, a bit of nasty to him as well, isn't it? Which doesn't go amiss up front, does it?
No, and I think also as well, Paddy Jackson's now growing into his role.
Yeah, he's on very good form,
with how the team, with how their style of playing, how the team wants to play. I mean, that decision at the end where he's kind of like, well, we could either go away with just, kick the 3 points and get within 7 and get 1 bonus point, or we're going for the corner. Let's get 4 tries and get the 2 bonus points. That's balls of steel in my book. That's proper decision making. That's really effective, and the way it should be. And maybe not to hark back onto the fact there's no relegation. Not that they're even in the relegation battle. If there was one, fair play to them. That's what it's all about. You've got to go, with the opportunity to get bonus points and try bonus points. You've got to take every point you can, because that's where it counts, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. They're by far a much sort of stronger and more organised outfit than they have been for many seasons, aren't they? It's I think the last few seasons they pulled out the odd good performance, but just anywhere near any consistency. Yeah, but they've just got. I think it's they've got obviously a stronger all-round squad, but some of the signings. Obviously, a lot of them are in their twilight years, aren't they? But it's the experience there, I think, which is it's coming together, and it is at the moment clicking for them, isn't it? So, fair play to. I think they do. Actually, I think in this game, if their idiot centre wasn't playing, then they may well have squeaked a win. But Hematoma or whatever his name, isn't it?
Hematoma. Yeah, I've been practicing his name all day. At one point, I was saying Hematoma, which obviously it isn't. But to be fair, mate. So obviously we'll talk about Gloucester later on Ollie Thorley's red card. Obviously, watching this game live, to me, and I think Austin Healey also commented on in comms, he looked like he threw his shoulder right into the guy's face.
He did.
If anything, it was proper red card. That
100%. But I've been sort of thinking about it. You watch all the cards and stuff that have been happening recently, and actually, I think I'm not in any way going to try and suggest how you sort of change the ruling or the wording in the ruling, but personally, I think something needs to be done to bring malice and intent in, rather than there's a difference between because at the moment, obviously, it's straight. Any contact with the head is a straight red card, isn't it? I think personally, I think that needs to be changed to have a little bit of discretion as to whether there's intent, malice, or accidental rugby incident, as they call it, isn't it? And if it is no intent, no malice, just a rugby incident collision, personally, I think then maybe it should be just lowered to you've made a silly professional error, so that's a yellow card. But when there's malice and intent, and this guy blatantly there was malice and intent, and I think he got away with a basically foul play about 5-10 minutes before the red card, didn't he? And you could just see, we play, we played the game, and you can see in their eyes, can't you? And you could see in his eyes that he there was no remorse. He was just up for pinging people, wasn't he? So that's 100% a red card, and people like that deserve red cards, and hopefully a relatively lengthy ban as well. But
we'll come on to that, because the BBC obviously keeping everything up to date, and that's
here we go.
Let's just park that one for a second, because I want to talk about the Ollie Thorley one, like I said. So let's leave Leicester. Good win, happy with that one. Sale at home to Newcastle came out on top, 31-16 winners. Did you see AJ McGinty's offload to Lou Diega? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. To have that awareness of his feet's positioning close to the line and the ability to actually flick it behind him, give the offload, fantastic try. And Sale, to me, they're strong. They're strong. Yeah. They're strong with the South African influence, obviously, but I think also Pat Sanderson's vision of how he wants them to play is starting to gel into the team. And they just look really good. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to take anything away from Newcastle, because I thought Newcastle were, as they always are, nuggety, and were in the game. Well, that's maybe a bit untrue, but they were, they played really well.
Yeah, they did. They never go down without a fight, but I don't think they were ever going to be winning that one, were they? Personally, but...
no. I think what Newcastle just miss is like a couple of star men, like a Faf de Klerk, or someone that could just, or a McGinty, that someone could just do that little intricate bit of genius that kind of gets them ahead and gets that kind of momentum going in a game. Because to me, they look like they just lack that little bit of momentum. It was a bit stoppy-starty, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I also think they do miss. They're missing their sort of big names in the back row, aren't they? I think that makes a big. And Wilson, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that makes quite a big. Just those two players make quite a huge difference to Newcastle.
Yeah.
Just with contesting, contesting, defending, and sort of front foot, isn't it? So I don't know whether nothing against. Is it Conan? Is it Brett Conan, the number 10?
Yeah, Brett Conan.
He's a great player, but I don't know whether Toby Flood's available at the moment. But I'd probably be inclined to give Floody a bit more starting time. Maybe have Conan coming off the bench just because of his experience, isn't it? And I'm not saying Flood's, like you were saying, they need someone who can set the game alight. He's not necessarily always that type of player, but he's just got that amount of experience with, not just the Premiership. He's played top 14 and everything, hasn't he? So he's
he's a valuable player to have in the team.
Yeah, and then you can maybe have your youngster coming off the bench, hopefully when the game's secured, sort of thing, isn't it? But
Yeah,
that might make a difference to them. I don't know, but
yeah,
because they've got a decent back
no,
line, haven't they? It's just
yeah, they do.
using them,
Well, look,
isn't it?
Stevenson and Radwada. Although I think he's injured at the moment, but yeah, they've got those. Again, it's those young talents that are going to be that intricate and important part of the team going forward. So
Yeah,
it might not be this season or next season. It could be the season after for Newcastle that they really, really do push for, being higher up the league kind of thing. So
yeah.
let's park that one. That's my new word, by the way. Let's park it. Oh my Bath Exeter, mate. I have not seen Bath play a first half like that in a very, very long time. They were, and this will be bleeped out, amazing. They were.
Yeah, it's decent, very decent, mate. It's just one of those, isn't it? I think we're unfortunately for Bath, they picked the first half of this game to play, like you said, the best rugby they played since probably end of last season, because they played some pretty decent stuff then. But unfortunately for Bath, Chiefs decided in the second half, especially, to pick this game as the one that they get back to something close to their top form, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely.
No, I don't think any side in the Premiership could live with the way Bath played, certainly in the first half an hour, and vice versa. As we know with Chiefs, no team in the Premiership can live with them when they're playing anything like their top form, is it? So yeah, if Chiefs had continued the sort of poorer form that they had over the last few weeks, then maybe Bath would have ended up with a win, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be.
No,
I think it was pretty close, pretty much to the last 10-15 minutes, wasn't it? It was Chiefs got a double in the last 10 minutes, I think, wasn't it? But
yeah, they kind of ran away with it a little bit. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Chiefs second half, they just basically did what they do and ground Bath into the ground and took that victory.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was sat there watching the game, and I was just like, wow, that is some seriously decent rugby. Just even like Priestland's crossfield kick to McConaughey for the try, and I mean, what a finish that was by him. I mean, that's he's been out of form a little bit as well, I thought, but that kind of really brought him back up. And
well, he's actually been injured, hasn't he, for the last few games? But
is he? Sorry.
Yeah, but other than that, he hasn't been in the form that he sort of can be in yet this season. But he looks like he's hopefully getting back to it now. So you need players like that to be hitting the top form, isn't it? So it's good. Yeah, it's positive signs, but hopefully they can keep it going now is the only thing.
Definitely. Fingers crossed. So the next game, the Gloucester, the Wasp game, Wasp obviously have lost again. I actually didn't get to. This was the only game I only had to watch the highlights from. Unfortunately, every other game I got to watch, which was good. Kids were obviously, and the stairs
and covered on the stairs again.
Or just running right, swinging from rafters and stuff. So really good win, a good win away for Gloucester. Close game, finished 19-20. Obviously, we've always recognised the fact that Ollie Thorley was off the field. Just come back to that in a second. Gloucester looked good. To play with 14 men again, that's tough. We've sort of said, and obviously when you've got props like Munga Allen doing ridiculous breaks and McGinty-esque offload out the back, there's still quality in the Wasp side, but it's just Wasp at the moment. I think too many penalties again. A bit like England, too many penalties.
Yeah.
They're just not firing at the moment.
No, I did think they were better, Wasps, overall this week than they have been the last few weeks. But and it was a good fight back, wasn't it? Because Gloucester took a pretty quick early lead, didn't they? It's really a second half fight back from Wasp, wasn't it? But then, did the extra man make the difference there. That's it's obviously
That's
obviously had an impact on the game, hasn't it? But
so just going into onto Ollie Thorley's red card.
that's not a red card.
So no, yeah, absolutely. And Jack Noel today or whenever put out on Twitter, because I think the ban that Ollie Thorley's been banned for 4 weeks. Okay,
Has he?
and Jack Noel put out a thing on Twitter saying joke, which I politely responded to, agreeing with him, and he did actually like our comment. So shout out to Jack Noel if you're listening.
Well done, Jack Noel. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's nice. And it is absolutely ridiculous because the London Irish guy, Hematoma, what is it? How do you pronounce it?
Hematoma.
Hematoma. I know. He got a 3-week ban. So what? Like
he got a 3 week.
His is only a 3-week ban.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I watched the Ollie Thorley one. So, and I think Andy Good said on his podcast that he obviously it was a kickoff, I think, and he sped up into the ball, into the tackle. But if you kind of watch it, he actually Goody was right in what he was saying. He did check himself and then went again just as he was the guy was hitting the floor. And he's clearly wrapped his arms and they've just clashed heads.
Yeah.
So
you're
right in what you're saying.
Yeah, that
the law.
Yeah.
Is head contact.
Yeah, you can't argue the way it is at the moment. It is a red card, but it shouldn't be a red card is the point, isn't it? Because that's going back to what I was saying before. That's why I think something needs to be changed. That should be a yellow card in my view, because there was no malice or intent there. You don't
No.
you know as well as I play in rugby, you don't intention, unless you're a complete psycho, and anyone who's a psycho is not going to be playing the game at the top level, are they? Or not for very long. But you don't intentionally go and collide heads with an opposition player because you don't know who's coming off worse. But you're both gonna be in a lot of pain from that, aren't you? But,
you're both gonna have a headache, aren't you?
Yeah. So that's just not something that's done intent. It was an accident. It was wrong. He made an error. He went too high. He didn't like you say. Andy Good said he didn't stop or check or lower. But there's no malice or intent there. So that to me is more along the lines of it's just a rugby incident collision. So personally, I think that's the sort of collision that should be lowered to a yellow card and just say, look, you just made, you should be doing better than that because you're a professional. Go lower next time, but you're going to have 10 minutes in the bin, isn't it? But
absolutely, totally agree. So I think that's. So you sounded quite shocked when I said about the
I didn't know that, mate.
Yeah. So, but the reasoning, I think my understanding is the reasoning that he got a 3-week ban as opposed to Thorley's 4-week ban was because he did not contest it, so he accepted his punishment. Whereas, so he automatically gets his time reduced for accepting and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I think Thorley challenged it, and that's potentially why he ended up with a 4-week ban because he challenged it.
Okay, so that I don't know exactly how it works, but I think from previous ones, so he's ended up with 4 weeks. So that could have been a 6-week one originally. But if you don't contest and you show remorse and all that, then they reduce it to 4 weeks. And if Thorley's stuck on 3 weeks, sorry, you say, and Thorley's on 4 weeks, so that was probably the original. But if he had just accepted it and shown remorse, then that would have been reduced to maybe 2 or 3 maybe. But it's a joke, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, should he be contesting the decision? Because the rule, the letter of the rule at the moment is any collision with the head is a red card, isn't it? So, so in a way, that was an error. Second error. First error was going in too high to the tackle. But I mean, but overall, sounds like you're the same. I just think that's ridiculous. Hematoma should be off for longer, shouldn't he? Because it was there was intent in that. Hematoma, we've renamed him.
Yeah, we have. I don't think he'll be too happy though. I totally agree with that, and it's a shame. But like you say, it's letter of the law, and rules is rules. As simple as that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the next game was the Bristol game against Worcester. Bloody hell, Bristol looked good. Nalagu, the winger, hat trick. Sweet.
Yeah,
that lad's fast.
He's on pretty good form, isn't he?
Rapid. Yeah.
But I didn't think. Obviously, they've ground out a win, but without his tries, they would have been struggling, wouldn't they? I think because Worcester were looking pretty strong and played some good rugby, didn't they? But
absolutely.
But yeah, Bristol were just finding a way to win, aren't they? However it's done, whether it's sort of like Exeter style forward play or
style of old.
I don't remember that far back then. or individual brilliance from the likes of now Laugo, is it?
Yeah, you do pronounce names so much better than I do.
Thank you.
It's all right. But yeah, fair play to Bristol. It's just a shame for Worcester. You know, again, they're a little bit like Gloucester have been over the last game. They just can't get a win, can they? They can't win those kind of close matches. But they certainly push Bristol really hard. So
yeah, and at least they're picking up some points, isn't it? Because I think I've always said, but if you're going to lose games, then make sure you get some points out of it, because it's points at the end of the season that matters, isn't it?
What was it they used to say? Points make prizes. What was that?
Points win prizes. Catches win matches.
Something like those guys. Okay, so then the final game of the week, Harlequins and Northampton, and again, sweet Jesus, talk about open play. You know, Marcus Smith, why is he not in the England team? You know, I think Harlequins are benefiting from having Joe Marler back, not in the England team, and playing some bloody good rugby, doing what he does best. I mean, that first half was quite reminiscent of the Bath game with Chiefs, but obviously both sides scored 14 points in the first. I texted you, didn't I? I can't remember what I said. Something like 14 points in the first 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It was some serious open and flowing rugby. But also, it kind of like both teams lacked control. It was just kind of a real laissez-faire. Let's just play from anywhere. And whilst it was bloody lovely to watch and really entertaining, you know, it could have swung either way. And to be fair to Saints, they threw it away at the end.
Right.
Did you? I take it you didn't get a chance to watch.
That to be honest, that's the only one I haven't seen anything of, as in live or highlights. But I sort of heard or read reports on similar to what you're saying. There is some pretty decent stuff by Harlequins by all accounts, and Marcus Smith in particular.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcus Smith has played really well. Like I said, the front row of Quins played well. Don Brandt had a bit of a blip and had a yellow card, but you know, he was still playing quite well. You know, I like the Esterhausen, the centre, South African centre.
Yeah, Danny, he gives some good balance, doesn't he?
Yeah, really good balance. So yeah, it was a really cracking game. And you should check the highlights out, mate.
Yeah, I will.
Really good.
Is it
really good?
Did we predict Harlequins on that one? I did.
Well,
did you?
I think I did. Yeah. I mean, to be fair to me, as you know, I do like a little flutter.
Yeah.
And on my accumulator, I got all the games right, but I bottled it on the last game of Quins and Saints. If I'd have got it right, I'd have won 40 quid, which would have been nice.
Do you change your prediction on Sale Newcastle?
No, I changed my prediction on Exeter. I said Bath originally.
Did you not back Newcastle?
No, I backed Sale.
Oh, okay.
Although you could be right.
Actually. I thought you were back to backing Newcastle again.
Yeah, I think I might have changed two then and went for Sale and Exeter.
Exeter, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I was quite chuffed. So let's move on to next week's fixtures. Friday night,
yep.
Bristol Wasps. And there's only one way that's going. At Ashton Gate.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've put the cursors on it already. No, it's Bristol.
Yeah, it's Bristol, isn't it?
Bristol have taken that, and probably by quite a margin, I'd imagine old Nalago would be in your fancy team again, probably getting your hat trick and get you even further ahead. We'll
get on to fancy in a minute, shall we?
Sure, maybe. And then Oh,
Ooh,
now that's going to be a good one. Oh, Harlequins
Chiefs.
are at
Chiefs,
Sandy
Chiefs,
Park.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Quins.
Nah, Chiefs. Chiefs.
Come on, mate. No, it's no Hogg, no Johnny Gray.
Don't matter. It's Chiefs.
No,
They've turned the corner on their
Skinner.
form last week against Bath, so it's Chiefs. No one's going to go to Sandy Park and beat them.
Oh, bold statement. Bold statement. Okay. Well, we're agreeing on the first one. We're disagreeing on that. I'm going Quins.
Fair play.
Then the next game is Bath up at Newcastle.
Bath 5-pointer.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'm backing Newcastle on that one.
No, it's going to. I think it's tough, isn't it? Because again, I don't know whether the England boys will be going back. I assume they will be, and obviously Faletau. So yeah, and Newcastle's never an easy place to go anyway. But it's good. It's going to be tough. But I'm obviously going to back the Bath boys.
Okay, that's fair.
And yeah, I just if they can play anything like that first half an hour, 40 minutes, then it'll be a nice win. But be a tough afternoon, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Newcastle up at Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle. Sale away at Saints. Sale. Interesting. The next one,
Ooh.
Tigers Gloucester at
Kingsholm.
Kingsholm. That's it. Well, I'm obviously backing Leicester.
Well, I'm going to go Gloucester.
What? Any kind of rationale behind that?
Just to annoy you. No, no.
Right, that's a good enough reason for me, mate.
No, in all honesty, I think it could be a really good game. I think it could be very close. Tigers, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Tigers win that, but I just got a feeling Gloucester will do it. They seem to have, I think, like you said, got rid of the monkey off their back on not managing to get a win. So they've got 2 in a row now, haven't they? They're at home. I'm just trying to think about who's likely to be playing and not playing. Your South Africans are still out, I think, aren't they, in your back row for Tigers?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm going to go Gloucester, mate.
Fair enough.
I like Zach Henry. I thought that actually at the end of last season he was like one of the very few shining lights that Tigers had as a up and coming prospect, and he's definitely got a lot of ability, but he lacks obviously in experience, doesn't he? And that's often very important, particularly at number 10. But but obviously the difference now is he's got all of the experience of Wigglesworth inside him, isn't he? Which yeah, certainly helps an inexperienced 10 if you've got a very experienced 9 inside you. But
I'd agree.
But yeah, no, I'm going to go Gloucester on that.
Okay, fair enough. And then Irish at home to Worcester. Irish.
Yeah, we'll get that. Could be close.
Oh yeah, I think it will be close, but I think Irish are taking that one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Certainly on looking on sort of form and performances and form and results of the last few weeks, that's Irish every day, isn't it? But I just think it could be a bit of a dogfight, that one, isn't it? Because it's although Irish aren't there at the moment, it's arguably an end of season sort of couple of relegation team battle, isn't it? So
yeah,
and they have been the last couple of seasons fighting around the bottom between themselves, haven't they? So
yeah, but Irish are up at 5th at the moment, and
yeah, I know.
Worcester
are bottom, aren't they?
Worcester now. Oh, let me just.
Or are they equal bottom with Gloucester? Is it?
So no, Worcester are bottom. Gloucester are actually 3 points ahead.
Yeah, I thought they were. Last week's win, wasn't it? Got them in front, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were equal the week before, weren't they? Worcester got 1 point and Gloucester got 4. Yeah.
So from the bottom up, it goes Worcester, Gloucester, Bath, Wasps, Leicester, Newcastle, Sorry, London Irish are actually in 6th, not 5th. Northampton 5th, Sale 4, Quins, Chiefs, Bristol. Bristol are actually 6 points ahead of Chiefs at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's good. Honestly, it's a good old league this year. Any team can win on any given day. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough old league.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the podcast. No point talking about the fantasy rugby.
No point for you, no. It's over, mate. It's over.
What? Oh well, it's never over till it's over. But it's certainly looking. What are you now? 400 and some ridiculous amount ahead.
I think
something.
Can you hear me?
Ludicrous.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's 4. I don't actually know. 460 something like that, isn't it?
Oh, I don't actually know. Of course you bloody know. You text me on Sunday morning. I'm like 460 points ahead now.
Yeah, it is
No, fair play, mate.
459. I'm just looking at it now. 459. 459, I think it is. So yeah, it's and that's round 12 just played, isn't it? So
yeah, and do you know what the interesting thing was? Proctor, who was on your bench, wasn't even bloody playing. So he did it with the man down.
Was he not playing at all? Did he get pulled out last minute?
I think he got pulled out last minute.
Yeah, I think he did. I'm sure he was selected. But
anyway.
Yes, I still smashed you even without a player playing, mate. But there we go.
But to be fair, if Nalago hadn't got that hat trick, mate, you'd be nowhere near me. Well, no, you'd still be winning, but I'd have won the round.
You reckon?
Actually, I'm not sure he would have. No, I don't know. Where you make up the points, you seem to
everywhere, mate. All around the pitch.
Week.
All around the pitch.
No. You seem to do really well in the front row every week, whereas although I've got really good props, you just seem to, I don't know, each week. See, so for example, last week your front row made 100 points, whereas mine made, quick maths, 25.
25?
Yeah, your front row made near enough 100 points, and mine made 25. Brilliant.
No, mine made just over 70.
Oh, yeah, I told you my maths wasn't
and yours,
good.
Yeah, and yours made just over 20. Oh, that's poor, isn't it? But you selected what's the sale? Rod, wasn't it? The young lad. Did he even start?
Yeah. He started. He got 4 points. Okay. Whereas the week before he made something like 25.
Yeah.
So
that's the way it goes, isn't it? It's just down to good management skills, mate.
Yeah, and a lot of luck. Anyway, mate, listen, let's wrap things up there. Thank you very much for coming along, mate, because obviously I know you're quite busy. Don't go working too hard now, mate. It's like 20 to 10.
Back to the grindstone, mate. Back to the grindstone. It's been a nice little break.
Back to the grindstone. Good. I'm glad, mate. I'm glad. And we'll catch up again next week, no doubt.
Yeah, defo.
I mean, obviously, I'll probably text you in a minute saying, I'll probably text in a minute saying, "Great pod, mate, well done."
I won't be able to do the ride along live game this Friday for definite because I've got my eldest birthday.
That's absolutely fine. I'm gonna start whispering a bit.
Oh, you got someone waking?
The missus No. The missus actually said to me last Friday. She said, "Oh, can we watch this movie?" I said, "Well, I was going to do a bit of a live ride along pod." And she was like, "What? You do this bloody podcast twice a week? What are you playing at?" And I was like, "Ooh." So yeah, I might give that a miss this week and drop it in next week. So we'll see.
Fair play. But yeah, just pretend you're doing it for her benefit, mate. But brownie points.
Absolutely. And to be fair, I think Bristol are probably going to kick ass. So it's just going to be a lot of Bristol are playing really well.
Bristol was. Yeah. Probably,
Bristol
it makes sense if it's going to be a bigger and better contested game to comment on, isn't it? But
maybe the one that you do join would be the Leicester Bath. If that's on a Friday night, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that would. But the odds of that being a Friday night is probably pretty slim. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, you might do. Yeah, it's not been announced yet, has it?
I don't know.
No, it's one of those. They haven't announced the actual days and times yet, have they? Round 16. I'm looking at it now to be confirmed. But with it's.
Oh, okay.
That's just in alphabetical order, isn't it? Yeah, so to be confirmed. Anyway, signing off.
Right, we'll see. Signing off, mate. Listen, take care, buddy, and I'll talk
Cheers,
to you
mate.
soon.
Speak to you next week.
That's the end of episode 23. Thank you so much for downloading and giving us your time and listening to us chat about rugby. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We will obviously be back next week. Just leaves me to say once again, thank you to I Spy Surveys for sponsoring, supporting us at the top 2 inches. We are available on all platforms such as Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast and YouTube. So go over there, subscribe to get hold of our most up-to-date episodes. We are also on Twitter at Top 2 Inches RP. So go over there, give us a follow, comment on our kind of posts, let us know what you think about the podcast, both positive and bad. We're all open for constructive criticism. And that's it. We will be back next week where hopefully I will have gained ground on Ollie in the fantasy rugby. Otherwise his head is just going to get so big it's going to explode. Catch you soon.